world's a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. It is Friday, a feel-good Friday, June 28th. It is the final show in the month of June 2024. And we're going to talk about what is going viral in our world today. And now, a disclaimer here. The most viral thing taking place in our world is the United States presidential debate. And no initial reactions on this show. Instead, we're going to give you one show next week talking all things regarding the presidential debate. We will have people who identify as liberal, people who identify as conservatives, and we are all going to speak amongst each other and see where that leads regarding the U.S. presidential debate and our 2024 presidential election. So save your time for that, and we will look forward to it. Save, put on the calendars early next week. Save your time for that, and we will talk all things presidential election early next week. So Ryan and Jose are with me. What's up?
How's it going, guys? I'm excited for tonight's show.
How you guys doing?
I'm good. This is good. I needed this show. I needed this show. We're in a good spot.
Glad to have you as well. So again, we can leave the stress for early next week when talking about the debate. But for now, let's talk about what else is taking place and going viral in our world today. All right. So one thing we could talk about is the NBA draft, who did move their coverage earlier in the day for the second round to help out the debate there. That's cute. But regardless, the NBA draft took place this past week. Round 1 and round 2, even though there wasn't a lot of buzz regarding that. And we will do a little NBA draft coverage early next week as well with fresh faces. But we could talk about the main story, and we could talk about the first overall pick. We could talk about all the big trades that were taking place earlier this week. Mikal Bridges as a Knick. But the biggest story coming from the NBA draft is the 55th overall pick, second round pick, and that is Bronny James being drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. What a surprise. And I have his stats right here, and I will be biased on this, and we will point out everything here. Bronny James in college, 1 year at USC as a freshman, and he didn't play a full season, and I'm aware of the health issues, and I don't want to dismiss that. But regardless, though, as a freshman in 25 games at USC in the Pac-12, he averaged 4 points a game, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. But despite that, he was drafted in the NBA, and we know it. Why do I have to hide it like ESPN? He was drafted because he is LeBron James's son, even though there is no inkling that he is ready for the NBA whatsoever, and may not even have any inkling of being a professional basketball player in general, even if he went overseas. This is absolutely silly. We know why. I have another related story about LeBron bias that you probably know about that we'll talk about here, but I mean, this is truly ridiculous. But and I just the mainstream media is turning the other head, and with the most minimal criticisms regarding this. This is just so silly. Record, it's a 55th pick. And, you know, LeBron essentially is the guy is in charge of the Lakers. Jenny Buss might own it, but Rob Pelinka might be the GM in title, but LeBron James is running the show, and that's why we have an ultimate example of nepotism right here. And I'll say one thing, though. There have been very few instances of fathers and sons playing. We could talk about Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr., well, you know what? Ken Griffey Sr. was an all-star, part of the Big Red Machine, won a World Series with Cincinnati, great veteran player, and then Ken Griffey Jr. became a Hall of Famer, one of the best pure hitters to ever live. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Bronny James, who literally can't score more than 5 points on average in NCAA Division I basketball, and look what we have here, and just the comments and the tweets. It's silly, and you can't tell me how serious they can't be taking this seriously. They're just doing a favor. And I'm gonna play you a clip when Ryan and Jose speak on this, but it's just like, wow, they actually did this. I am absolutely shocked. I thought, at least if you sign him to a free agent deal, if you put him on a 10-way contract, you could put him in the G League for years to develop because he clearly needs to develop. But they literally used a draft pick on him. Even if it's very late in the draft, it's silly. Absolutely silly. Ryan and Jose, your turn on this.
So they didn't have years. This is clearly LeBron wants to play basketball in the league with his son. That's a fact. So I think personally, if the Lakers wouldn't do that for him, then he would simply go about finding someone who would do that for him. LeBron James is going to make one of the professional basketball teams sign his son so they could play at the same time. LeBron's not waiting 10 years, or not 10 years, but not waiting 3 years for Bronny to develop into, a halfway decent prospect. He wants it now so he can retire, and then that's it. So they got that. The Lakers acquiesced. I don't know that he should be commanding that much attention anymore, to be honest with you. But he certainly still seems to have that kind of pull within the Lakers organization still. I'll be honest. First thing I thought was, it's like, this feels like take your kid to work day. You know what I mean? Like, why would Bronny want this? That's my personal thing. Why was Bronny even in the draft? Because this is just making him look, like you said, this is nepotism. Everyone knows this is nepotism. Surely he knows that this is nepotism. So, like, why would he agree to do this? Just so he could, maybe his dad didn't play enough ball with him when they were growing up, and this is his, he's finally getting the opportunity to play catch with his dad. I don't know.
I don't want to interrupt your. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's it. That's my whole point. That's my whole point.
He literally named his kid LeBron James Jr. as well. That's a tough one.
I mean, yes, obviously it stinks if your name is LeBron James Jr. and you're not as good at basketball as LeBron James. That's a tough deal.
And people say the younger son is actually better. Allegedly, that's what I hear.
He's taller.
The ball's the same way.
What was his other move?
Stay in college.
Yeah. He was trash in college. He would have just trash again. You think he was 55th pick?
At least he wouldn't have as bad of a criticism if he at least stuck it out all 4 years.
Exactly.
He was gonna be hit with criticism no matter what because he's trash.
I know, but just not as bad.
It wouldn't be as bad. It wouldn't be as bad.
It wouldn't be as bad. It would have been bad. No matter what.
No, you're not wrong with the always bad, but
and I disagree with
control.
You. Ken Griffey and Junior and Senior were both great players, right?
Yeah.
LeBron's one of the greatest players in NBA history, correct? And
yes.
Bronny got a chance for the D League to be the greatest player in the D League history.
Bro, how could you? If he can only score 4 points against college students, how is he going to go up against legit professionals? Even in the G League,
he's not playing in the G League. He's not playing in the G League. Let's erase that from our minds.
Okay,
they're putting him in a Lakers uniform. He's playing with his father. That's the only.
He will be the true 12th man.
He is 100% playing with his dad next season. It's the only reason he has an NBA contract. Just that's it. He has an NBA contract to play basketball with his dad. I'm not sure if LeBron retires. That they take his next time.
Wait,
LeBron will eventually retire.
I want to add to this. I want to play 2 quick clips, or I'll play 1 clip for now, and then I'll save the other one. Really quick. Let's look at Bronny James's reaction to this. I have the clip right here. So here's Bronny James' own reaction getting picked 55th overall.
Draft. The Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James.
I don't know about you guys, but he does not look happy to get drafted.
No, he doesn't.
We have Savannah right there. I don't see actual LeBron. But yeah.
That's why he has to get him on the court. It's the only time he can see his dad. Maybe. I don't know. That's me. Maybe LeBron was a very present father. I'm just saying this doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. And you're right, man. He does not look happy at all. He just got drafted to like a big franchise too, like a well-known franchise.
it makes all the sense in the world to do this.
Yeah, no, it
I
does for LeBron. No, it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense for LeBron James. LeBron James
not
got
for
this
the
perfect.
Lakers. For the Lakers, well, by the way, Bronny James only played only had two teams look at him. It was the Lakers and the Suns. That was it.
Correct.
Which is still silly. The Suns are a mess.
That would
Yeah,
be
but
funny. If the Suns took him.
and I totally disagree. He's not playing. Now, if the Lakers are trash in the end of the season, he'll get his one game at the end of the season.
Fine.
Where
At the end of the season.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be in the 12-man roster. No way in hell, because it just makes it even worse on him. Two is the Lakers had to make this move, because LeBron opted out.
Will be upset.
Yeah, no, LeBron would leave. Yes, correct. No, we're all in agreement with you, Jose. This is
the one thing I want.
LeBron.
You're right. And the one thing me and Bach talked about with the Lakers. The thing is, the Lakers should rebuild right now. So it literally would not be a bad thing if he opted out and AD they made a trade with him. It's time for the Lakers to rebuild. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You think they're in win now? You really think this team can compete against? If we're talking about the West. The Nuggets, you think they have a shot with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves?
No, but see, they shot themselves in there. Okay, here they shot themselves. Too, right? One, they have no draft picks. 0. So what are you rebuilding with? 2, you have LeBron James and AD one good year if they both can stay healthy. And you do have decent role players. Now, could you make some more trades? Yeah, you can. Did they waste the 55th pick? Yeah, they did. But they're not rebuilding crap unless you're trading AD, because you're not.
Well, yeah, that's the point. AD's not going to take over the franchise. You could trade him and D'Angelo Russell.
But you're not. As long as LeBron's there, he's not going to. We just agreed that LeBron runs the team. As long as LeBron's there, he's not trading his best asset for what?
So maybe this is the compromise. Bronny gets a spot, and LeBron has to let his friends go for a trade. Maybe this is maybe they work this out. His son gets to be a Laker, but they get to make the trades they want to make to rebuild the team around LeBron. You know what? Maybe that's possible. This is a part of some backroom negotiations with LeBron to loosen his grip on that franchise. But
yeah, and like I said, with all this unfolded too, it's just dude looks defeated to get drafted, and he knows the intense pressure he has. And I mean, no offense to him, he didn't have to play basketball, but I mean
you're LeBron James Jr. I feel like you might have to try.
Fine. They say we can't make a choice, but yes, I know where you're going, what you're going with that, but I mean, geez, this is the big story. And let me just I have a story for this guy, but I want to relate it to how do I go about this? Fuck it. I'm going to talk about this. We're going to start a new segment. I'm just going to switch them because pretty much
they're connected. Yeah.
All connected, the three of them, but it's might as well talk about it now with this. But let me begin with saying here, and good luck, Bronny James. You have quite a season ahead of you. But
yes.
Let's talk about Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith. Oh man. I first want to go on the record. I genuinely respect Stephen A. Smith and I admire him a lot. I think he is one of the best personalities I've ever seen. Or over the past, not even the past years. I don't know what's happened in the past year, not in the last few years. The last year, he's just. I'll explain, and I have a clip to help give my point across. So, Stephen A. Smith, his contract ends at the end of this year in 2025, right? Then his ESPN. Right now, he's in negotiations for a new contract. Stephen A. Smith was offered a 4-year, $90 million contract, which would result in $18 million a year. And Stephen A. Smith allegedly denied that offer and is demanding $25 million a year to broadcast with ESPN. Beyond how insane that actually is, but when you have one of my biggest criticisms with Stephen A. lately is you feel like he's not genuine anymore. Like he's playing the role. He is Mr. Disney. He's Mr. ESPN. And so when I show clips like the one I'm about to show right now, this is why it's so ridiculous to have $25 million a year be paid to this puppet. Sure, he doesn't care and he shouldn't care. But if you care about your legacy and you care about respect, you won't have clown takes like this one that I'm going to play right now. This is his reaction to LeBron James Jr. getting drafted. I don't want to hear it about the nepotism. Okay, here we go. Let me play this.
Best contextualize this. We've never seen something like this. Bronny and LeBron James, teammates in Los Angeles.
Listen, and, Bob talked about this. Bronny James, the way he has worked, the way he has prepared himself.
Important things to bring up is what, excuse me, what you brought up in regards to the nepotism, because I don't want to hear it either. And I really appreciate and applaud you for bringing it up, because you hear people mumbling about that in the weeks and the days leading up to the draft. It is something that has permeated throughout the NBA for quite some time, okay? And on all levels. And no one has said anything. It's never been an issue that I can remember. I've been covering the NBA for a quarter century. This man has been around just as long, if not longer. Don't talk to me about nepotism being something new. It's been here. Nobody said anything before. Shut the hell up now.
Pretty incredible. I want to zero back in.
Okay, my thing with that, right? You're right. Nepotism's been around for a long time, but you can't deny the fact that it's a major factor into this, and people have the right to be upset about it and make comments. That is something that I feel like Stephen A. had to say because the people at ESPN told him to say it because of their close relationship with the NBA and stuff like that. It just doesn't seem authentic. And we've had instances of him, I won't go at with the wrong predictions and hot takes because everybody's failed with that. Heck, we've all been, every single one of us on the show, we can look really bad if you play some of our bad takes. But for somebody who wants to come off as the everyman, who wants to be a part of the general public and say he's a representation of all of us, asking for $25 million a year and doing takes that it seems like you're just appeasing to your higher up and corporate suits, that's just a ridiculous, absolute ridiculous way to go about things, Stephen A.
I'll be honest, actually, Matt. I agree. It's ridiculous that somebody would say that you can't have a comment about the very clear nepotism that went into drafting Bronny, right? But I actually do overall agree with his point. This is not the first time there's been nepotism in the NBA and anywhere. So, if you're not always mad about nepotism, and listen, some people are always mad about nepotism, and I mean, that's a lot to always be mad that people with power retain power by handing it off to their children. I don't want to say grow up because it's wrong, I guess, but just take a deep breath, right?
Yeah, it's part of life.
Exactly. But he is right that this happens all the time and we don't usually complain. There is some complaining happening, frankly, because how not LeBron James Jr. is. Yeah. If they even if LeBron James was just a little bit better than his son, if his son was still a decent basketball player, I think there'd be no comments whatsoever because there usually is no comments. I think the only reason there's any comments is because people think he is aggressively bad at basketball. And
that's the only
problem. The only way to prove that will be to play next year and not be aggressively bad at basketball. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, hence the Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. arguments is completely different because they actually can back it up. Bronny James can't, and his numbers.
We don't think he can.
We don't think he can, but for now he does. That's the point. Right. But back to the Stephen A. demanding for $25 million a year.
Yes. Sorry,
talk about that.
I buried the lead there.
No worries.
Yeah,
you're good.
So we'll do it for I don't know, $800K a piece, $800K a piece rather. I think that's fair. You save so much money. You get the three of us on there, we can do the same exact thing. And unlike Matt, I'm willing to say whatever Disney tells me. So, you know what I mean? No, in all seriousness, no one in that job deserves $25 million. The company isn't doing well enough in its brand isn't strong enough right now to justify paying anyone $25 million. It'd be one thing if ESPN was the premier place for all sports news still, but it's clearly not. We've talked about that a million times on this show, right? It's clearly fallen off. Barstool's taking a huge chunk. just honestly just random commenters on social media give people a lot of their takes and a lot of their like sports content. Podcasts do it, right? Like the Ringer stuff. I just don't. There's too many people eating into ESPN's like premier status to justify giving anyone that much money.
Yeah.
They need to get new people for less money and try new stuff. I think the offer that Stephen A was very fair. Now, if it's not enough for him, that's fair too. And he should go off on his own and see if he can make $25 million a year on the Stephen A. Smith podcast, his independent podcast that he has. I don't think he can. Personally, I've listened to the show. I kind of like the show. I also, like Matt said, I don't dislike Stephen A. Just he says a lot of crazy stuff, so we talk about him a lot. But I don't think he's making $25 million a year on his own show. I just don't. Maybe he goes on to other pursuits. He's on the news right now, so maybe he's making a shift away from sports. We'll talk about that Monday. But I don't know. I just $25 million from ESPN right now doesn't make sense. That's the wrong way to be. Throwing a lot of money, and it's not just him. We talked about Pat McAfee too. Throwing a silly amount of money at people you already have when the brand is actually falling makes no sense. You need new voices, a lot of them, and throw them at the wall and see what sticks.
Jose, your turn.
He's negotiating, right?
Yeah.
Technically, yeah.
Okay, he's just throwing a ballpark number. That's it.
Say it's too high.
Yeah, and it's a
of course you're not gonna
no,
go
but
to
he didn't. He already denied the 18. He was offered 18 and denied that.
Of course, that's their number. I'm gonna come up with a giant number so we can meet in the fucking middle. 18 and 25. What is 22? 21?
That's too high too. Anything above 20.5 would be too high, in my opinion.
Listen, what does ESPN have? Nothing. You just have him.
No, they don't even have.
And I love Scott Van Pelt too, but that's
but he's one foot off the
numbers.
door. He's about to leave and go to the Golf Channel for all we know. So you only have him.
TC person.
And Pat McAfee's gonna leave once his deal is up.
Oh man, he got an executive fired. They're gonna deny it, but let's be real.
He did, but he's leaving. So Jose's right. If Stephen A leaves, they're out of like all-star talent. My point though, Jose, is they have these all-star talents and nobody cares anyway. So why pay these people all this money when they're not doing anything?
What all-star talents was that Pat McAfee?
That's what I'm saying. They got two, and no one cares.
If they lose them.
Yeah, sorry, they have two, no one cares. So why pay them a lot of money?
But that's the only reason why you watch the show is because of those two.
No, I'm saying no one is watching, so why it's not working?
You're not going to make it worse and drop one of them for what? You got to either replace them or keep them.
Replace them.
People, and if anything, Pat McAfee's more important than them because he could at least especially with alternative comment.
Anyway, he wants.
But but Pat McAfee,
no amount of money.
You can't control him. Whatsoever, and they don't like that. Disney don't like that. With Stephen A, you give him. He may ask for a lot, but he'll do what you say.
That's true. You do get a mouthpiece, as Matt pointed out. But I don't know. I just don't know that 25 mil. Certainly 25 is too high. I would be hesitant if I were negotiating with him to go above 20. But
would you give him 20?
Yes.
So you're complaining for 1 mil. 4 mil. 5 mil was 4 years. 4 years, 21, right? So it's 4 mil. Really,
no, $5 million a year. I'm complaining about $5 million a year.
Listen.
That's $20 million over the course of the 4-year contract. That's not a small amount of money.
Disney.
Yes, but they have other stuff going on. There's Star Wars. Yeah. Go ahead.
The only thing when we talk about these major personalities and how like generations really don't care, they're getting phased out.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like the argument about football announcers. Why pay them so much when all you care about is the teams playing? You don't care who's calling the game. It's the same thing. And especially when late night, which we are seeing examples of a late night talk show host, he's done. They're not replacing him with another talk show host. They're doing alternative programming that's just not working. I'm talking about James Corden leaves. They have the Taylor Thomas in the show is just not working, and they're like switching people around. Daily Show, they don't even bother to get another host. They're just switching people up. When they are phased out, especially, and they are the face of the network ultimately. This is who cares to replace him with anything? And that's where that's like this thing with Stephen A. and demanding all this money, because maybe it won't be affected now, maybe not 2 years, 3 years, but in 5 years when we hit the 2030s, you got to have a serious evaluation on these all-star talents on specifically television, and if they're worth that type of stuff or not.
Yeah, again, a panel discussion about the draft is a panel discussion about the draft. You don't need to have a face that everybody cares about every single time. You just don't need it. You could honestly let Stephen A. go independent and then pay per appearance. I think you'd get the exact same benefit, maybe even a boost, because then people be like, oh, one of the Stephen A. episodes. I still like him. Let me check that out. I really don't. I mean, I get what you're saying, Jose. Like, they don't have anyone, and if they're going to keep the old model, then they need to basically lock down Stephen A. because Pat McAfee, the only other viable like face of the network, hates the network. But I don't think the old model is viable. That's my point, is I don't think they need to keep this old model. You see, like Matt said, other people shifting, and I think they need to as well.
Yep.
Stephen A. is on pretty much on every freaking thing on ESPN.
I know. Well, he's 25 million. He better be.
Well, but you're getting your money's worth, and he brings people in.
And now he's with Chris Cuomo tonight.
Yeah.
Look,
Newsmax.
But you don't realize how big he's getting. Like,
I know.
He's
getting very big.
But you could put somebody in front of a camera and consider them big. You could put a dog.
But would I watch it? Probably
Air Bud.
not. You could put whatever. But if it's Stephen A. or Air Bud, I'm watching Stephen A.
Air Bud knows how to ball. Stephen A.
but
didn't score in
Jose,
college.
you might not. And this is where we need our Gen Z correspondents, and AJ would be perfect for this.
Yes.
They don't care. Like our generation, you might be an easier argument for that because we grew up with that before the social media. But to younger people, like they just don't care. You know what? I'm not going to show the clip, but I saw a clip of Denzel Washington, right? Legendary Hollywood actor. He's literally Hollywood gold, and he's as good as it gets for on-screen talent. And he's shooting a movie in the Bronx, and he's meeting with all the older people, like Denzel Washington. And they have this young girl. She's probably like 8, 9 years old. He's like, shake my hand and stuff like that. And she did not know who the hell he was. And I understand, he doesn't make kids movies, but It's just the idea of, people are getting phased out who were a big deal in a certain generation, and they're just not.
Yeah, and on sports,
and I think Stephen A. is going to be like that.
Yeah, and on sports specifically, it's coming to a phase now where it's not about everyone who watches sports is listening to one person's opinion on the sport. Now, you're listening to like Ball is Life 62 on, Instagram or whatever, or on YouTube, and you're getting their take, and that's your person. And there's only like 30K of you, but that's the community that you've built, and that's where you're getting your info from. It's segmented now. It's segmented all across online, all across social media. It's just not the same strategy where you need one person to be the tent pole. And so I think that's why it'd be too much money. But
yeah, we shall see. All right. And the next thing, right? In the continuing on from NBA news, it was announced earlier this week, once again, involving the Los Angeles Lakers, that they have hired JJ Redick as their next head coach. JJ Redick has no professional coaching experience. He's only done television work. He's also coached a 4th grade team.
I was going to mention that.
And, I'm like, okay, is it that far-fetched? There have been people who went from the booth to coaching, like Aaron Boone on the Yankees, reckon that's baseball. And baseball is a different game in terms of the coaching and stuff like that, right? But coincidentally, JJ Redick and LeBron James have had a podcast this year, and they were potting together over the past few weeks. And then all of a sudden, JJ Redick is hired as the Los Angeles Lakers coach, as we mentioned, who LeBron high-key runs. So there we go again with LeBron's influence. And we're not necessarily thinking it's a bad thing, but like acknowledge it. And he was asked during the press conference, did the podcasting and that have any influence? Of course, they say no, but it's just like they really think we're stupid. Like every single outlet calls the hypocrisy, but I mean, JJ Redick, and I do think he has a great basketball IQ, but basketball, NBA basketball doing that, and he was the one who picked his son, who drafted him on his team too. It just seems just so ridiculous and silly. Like again. And that's going to be something for a team that's also maybe we agree or disagree in terms of their chance to win a championship. They still do have contention left. And now you're putting a coach with no experience whatsoever into that mix in the NBA. It's going to be hard. Be really hard.
Jose, what do you think? And I'll jump in.
Well, all due respect, JJ, it wasn't the first job JJ went after. Didn't he go for the Milwaukee Bucks job?
He went for the Charlotte Hornets job, but that's a team that is abysmal, god-awful, has lottery picks. So at least if you're going to a team that anybody can try to get coaching experience, that would make sense for the Charlotte Hornets, not the Los Angeles Lakers, who are contending still.
It's the same thing when Steve Nash went to Brooklyn.
And how did that turn out? Literally one of the most embarrassing failures in the history of basketball. In professional sports, having KD, Harden, and Kyrie in their prime, and they didn't get out of the second round.
Well,
you're right. It is.
It's going to happen the same way no matter what. I mean, listen, he's making $48 million for 4 years?
That's
something
right.
Like that? All right. Let him get his money.
I think he's probably making a decent amount of money with his other job.
Well,
I'll be honest. One thing, I mean, obviously we kind of hinted at it, but you didn't say it in your CV, Matt, of Redick, is he was a basketball player. So it's not just booth to, I mean, it's booth to coach, but it was player to booth to coach. So, I mean, it's not like he has no basketball experience at the NBA level. It's just as a player, not as a coach.
Don't deny that.
I have a conspiracy theory, and I don't usually have these. I think that obviously this was a LeBron hire, and I think it's because LeBron just needs to keep the whistle warm till he can go away, and then he could take over, and then from there work his way up to be the GM and so on and so forth. I think LeBron is putting all of the pieces in place while he's still got all the power as their biggest star on the court for his exit off the court, where he could take over everything. That's my opinion. I think he's putting in people he knows he can replace at every possible level, and I think Redick is included in that. But maybe I don't know.
Ryan.
Maybe I'm wrong about when he's retiring. I could be wrong about when he's retiring, but if it's soon, I think this is a part of that.
Ryan, we all know what he's trying to do. Ryan, he's trying to take everybody knows Vegas is going to be the next team, which the NBA Silver already said that is the next task they're doing is expansion, two teams. Vegas, everybody knows it's going to be Vegas and Seattle. And everybody knows that LeBron's probably going to be done after this year. At most, maybe next year. And then as soon as that gets announced that they're going to expand, LeBron's going to try to get ownership. Put a group together, and he probably one of the reasons why he wants to stay in LA is build everything up and go own the whatever the Las Vegas team. Everybody knows that's the plan.
That could be the plan. That could be the plan too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I mean he is. It's fun. When people, it's when we talk about the LeBron and Michael Jordan debate, and no doubt. You really can't see how different they are and I believe MJ is the GOAT. That's my pick for it. And, it is crazy how different they are with that too. And he sold his stake to the Charlotte Hornets. And I think this, with the Last Dance and everything almost enhances his legacy even more. He didn't even involve his family during his documentary. But it's just interesting to point things out like that. And a lot of people feel LeBron is an attention whore and stuff like that is that. And, I point out some things that you can say MJ is too, but he at least done it a little less degree. Plus, the rings back it up.
It's a different era, I will say. I mean, we're kind of getting off the JJ Redick topic, but it is a different era. Right. Like, to be a star in the NBA in the era that LeBron came up in, like the birth of the internet era, the birth of the social media era, you had to be different than MJ. MJ, as we know, I'm not saying MJ wouldn't have changed the way he was to match it. I'm not. This is not a critique at all of that. I'm just saying that the era that LeBron came up in was just vastly different than the era that MJ was up in, and so I think that is part of the reason why we see LeBron as more of an attention seeker, because he's in an era where it's all about seeking attention. Like, that's the point of these apps and of social media, and so I do think that. But I will say, back to the Redick comment before we leave it. I mean, best of luck. It'd be cool if he succeeds, right? Like, it'll be kind of cool if he goes from the booth to being a good coach.
We can also, and we could mention too, there actually have been also with this, somebody accused him of being racist. He denied it, but I mean, regardless, though, I've heard that he's. I've heard allegedly that he's a dickhead, and he comes off that way definitely during his first take, at least.
He does. I was more speaking like someone going, booth to coach.
True,
in NBA would be cool.
I'm just saying, would it be cool maybe for somebody else, not somebody who's?
Sure, fair enough. I won't say it has to be him, but just.
I showed you the clip of him being racist to Asians. He straight up said that, which is bizarre that that hasn't been brought up.
Right? Yeah, that's. I mean, it's also crazy that I've seen that clip, right? And that's not even the thing he's been accused of doing. So that the thing, like, we know he's done that, and they're just like putting that to the side. There's apparently other stuff he said that we don't even know about. We haven't seen the evidence of. So that's crazy that we know he's done something wrong. He's been accused of doing something wrong. That's not that too. So, I mean, who knows what his history of comments are, but.
And last but not least, over everything, right? I will give credit to it, and it only helps us more, is the fact that he did get hired due to a podcast, and that influence of it as well. That is great for our industry. I will say that.
Yes, that's good. And we're going to get hired Triple A Stephen A when he refuses the ESPN deal.
Oh, yes. Jose, anything else on LeBron, JJ, Bronny, Stephen A, anything?
Well, I hope they all lose.
Now, I do have one more NBA story, but this is a fun one. I promise. So, do you guys know who, one moment, Jared McCain is?
That just sounds so familiar.
Jared McCain was just drafted to the Philadelphia 76ers at 7, right? He played at Duke for 2 years.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Duke. Bro, let me play this right now. Jared McCain is as Gen Z as it gets. Let me just show you his TikTok. And this particular clip has gone viral on NBA Twitter, and it simply says, "Wow, they really just drafted this guy, a top 10 pick as well." So here we go. Bored in my hotel room, right?
Your life can get so crazy, but
Caleb Williams have stuff like this, and some WNBA players who picked. It just shows, like, man, we could start seeing the generation gap.
But I mean, it's
not a bad thing, by the way.
No, I know that.
It's just funny. It's just funny. I just want to point that out. It's just funny that this typical TikTok dancer is now a top 10 NBA draft pick.
Yeah,
and he was good in Duke. I do remember seeing him in the tournaments.
I feel like people gotta remember with this stuff, and Caleb Williams too. Like, yes, obviously it's different than what we would have seen growing up, right? But what the, like, our group, we just talked about it. LeBron was different than his direct comparison coming up. I'm not saying that this person is the next LeBron. I'm just saying, like, we've seen direct comparisons, and they do behave differently because they're a different generation at a different time. Like, this is what you do now. This is what people do now. People spend their time dancing on their phone. Like, that's what people do for fun now. It's how people kind of, like, entertain themselves, connect with other people. Like, this is just how it is now. And so, if anything, it shows that this person's fairly savvy and will probably make oodles of cash for the team because he's marketable. That's what this kind of showed me anyway. But
that was a great answer. I seen that video, just like, what do I say? What do I say?
Yeah, right. No, exactly. No, I get you what you mean, and I just wanted to, just show that, and it's just sign of the times. All right, one more story, and then quick, one more sports story, and then we'll very quickly two non-sports stories. Right, the NFL, literally, it's true. NFL is king. Just one of the biggest businesses in America. People love the NFL, and the people have criticized the NFL for their greediness, and so many examples with the many overseas games, insane ticket prices, the anything they can do to make a buck, having games on Christmas on a Wednesday. It's, as much as we love the NFL, and I love the NFL more than anything, but they are some greedy bastards. And finally, somebody held them accountable this week. Did you guys see? The NFL took a massive hit in the courts on Thursday, and the NFL took a massive hit in the courts on Thursday. A federal judge has ordered the NFL to pay $4.7 billion in residual class damages and $96 million in commercial class damages regarding the NFL Sunday ticket. And in a lawsuit that was filed back in 2015, where the plaintiffs actually sought $7 billion, the case involved Sunday ticket and antitrust laws and the fact that they were overcharging for the NFL Sunday ticket as much as $400 a season. $450 a season, as much as they were asking, which is just gross, which is stupid, which is just, it pisses you off. And finally, a judge said, "What's up?" And thank you to that judge. Now, the NFL is expected to appeal, but I mean, it's really insane how they thought that this is okay. And they actually have a statement. Let me read you the NFL statement. Roger Goodell supported statement. They said, quote, "We are disappointed with the jury's verdict." For what? Today in the NFL Sunday ticket class action lawsuit. We continue to believe that our media distribution strategy, which features all NFL games broadcast on free over-the-air television in the markets of the participating teams, and the national distribution of most of our popular games, supplemented by many additional choices, including the Red Zone Sunday Ticket and NFL Plus, is by far the most fan-friendly distribution model in all of sports and entertainment. We will certainly contest this decision, as we believe that the class action claims in the case we will certainly contest this decision, as we believe that the class action claims in this case are baseless without merit. We want to thank the jury for their time and service and guidance and oversight from Judge Gutierrez's thought on the trial. So tone deaf. So tone deaf. And the one thing that helps the NFL is the fact that there are crazy people who will pay these insane prices, but something's got to give. Something's got to give and make this a more affordable experience for the fan, and not just the 1%ers out there.
So I don't know that that's true, but I do think that the antitrust thing is interesting because it is. You can't access these games any other way besides the NFL. They control all access to to all of the product. They control all. I mean, they mentioned like 5 other supplements, right? But all of them are controlled by them. Like they are. So, I think what the thing though that could happen no one else is going to take ownership of these. Like, no one else can be in charge of them because the NFL has the football players. So,
True.
and there are exceptions to antitrust in sports in the United States of America. I don't know if you knew that, but sports doesn't quite apply the same way. Like, you could still do antitrust stuff, but it's not quite the same. So if it does end up staying, they'll probably just get rid of those offers altogether, and people just won't be able to see the games that are out of market or not on the national distribution. That's probably what will end up happening. So I don't think anyone's going to get the content they want for less money. I think the content will just go away.
Yeah, that might be the case too. Or you could realize you will get so many more fans and subscribers if you have a reasonable price. And now I know we spent all show criticizing ESPN, but they did make a deal while trying to negotiate for the Sunday ticket. Went from DirecTV to YouTube TV, which is what the distributor right now. That they offered a package that would be only $70 a month, which would actually somewhat pan out. And NFL said, no, fuck that. $400 a season.
I mean, yeah, obviously they want money. I hope it goes and they lower the cost. And I hope that when they do, everybody gets it and they make the same amount, because that will encourage others to follow suit and lower prices to a point where people can participate. But I just don't know that that's going to happen even if they don't win their appeal.
Do you think it's gonna be like what you saw that when Triple H was on the Pat McAfee show and he was talking about how every sports league is watching them for their Netflix deal and see how that pans out?
Ooh.
Could you picture
NFL
NFL?
and Netflix?
And no, not never. I see NFL and Amazon.
They
already have a partnership.
How many more viewers do they have a month, a year, or a season what I mean? Like, who are they losing?
Yeah, but it's the same thing with the WWE. That's why everybody's kind of just the wait and see approach, because now since WWE is going to Netflix, they're obviously not going to have the same amount of viewers.
Well, but so the WWE is making a bet that because Netflix globally far exceeds what WWE is getting domestically in each of these separate countries.
Correct, but Netflix deal with WWE is not global, though.
It is. It is global.
It will be global, but not until those separate deals with them are done.
But I'm saying it is. So starting as soon as so Raw goes to Netflix 2025, and as soon as that happens, all of these like a lot of these foreign markets that they run in, I want to say like India and I think maybe even the UK, everything gets put on Netflix. Not here in the US. We have to honor the contracts that they have with like Peacock and stuff before they can switch permanently everything over to Netflix. But everything from foreign perspectives are going on Netflix. So now if the NFL thinks that the global demand for their product is high enough that the global users of Amazon, if Amazon has robust global numbers, I don't know. If they think that they can make up for it with global users who currently don't have any access and will now get it because it's on streaming, then yeah, 100% that would be an interesting move. But I don't know Amazon's global numbers, and I don't know what the NFL's global market share is. Like, I know they're not expanding the league, but like they're expanding into these other markets by doing games in the UK and in Germany and whatever. And I know I think so. They're trying. I just don't know how. I don't know how set that is yet, and it might be a little too soon to move to streaming because I think they need those global numbers to really make a streaming deal worth it in terms of viewership.
Rumor has it they're trying to get a team in New Mexico right now.
New Mexico or Mexico?
Mexico, sorry.
Yeah,
Mexico.
I could do a whole pod about the international football. That's not going to happen. I know they'll try. I know they'll try to convince how the whole world is into the NFL. I just don't believe that. And because of the reports about how most of the international games are American tourists just going over there.
Right.
And the thing about like soccer, for instance, I understand the global appeal because there's just so many examples of soccer teams, both international and all these elite leagues are in, of these huge fan bases going crazy. I don't see that like in Brazil going crazy for the Philadelphia Eagles, or like for instance, the Eagles are going over there. I don't see that happening in Brazil. People claim that they're Jacksonville Jaguar fans in the UK. Not true. You would see more of that appeal and social media influence.
I think
just
it's
think
people it's Americans going, and honestly, good for these countries because they're getting a ton of tourism dollars. Like, I would never stop doing this. I would do it every year, twice a year.
Yeah.
Because if we're gonna fill these stadiums with Americans,
right,
who are now spending money on hotels, on dinner, on souvenirs, on experiences, like that is perfect for their economy. So good for them, but I don't think it's I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I don't think the NFL actually has that strong an international base.
right. And the idea of like if you had the New York Giants going to play the Mexico City football team
right
overseas like that with the time differences and it just doesn't make any sense. You could do like
Canada. Go ahead.
I mean, you could, like I said, you could do your own like NFL sponsored Mexican league, or like the Canadian, as Ryan mentioned, there's a Canadian football league. But the idea of a team in Germany being able to play in Super Bowl Sunday in Vegas in 10 years, that's far fetched.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Or maybe so. What about this though? Like, what if they did, like you said, Matt? They started doing these expansion leagues. Like, and they don't have to be big
believe they
leagues.
tried it before too. I know they have tried NFL Europe and stuff, like a 14 league, and it just didn't work. And if the NFL was as big as the NFL tells me they are in these other countries,
it would have worked.
It'd be big. Plus, you would have more of these people. I know there's some examples.
Sure.
Very small. I think I could do probably 20. Like, I don't know. I'm making a guess. Like less than 50 NFL players are from an another country, Austrian. An Austrian is someone who's from Austria is playing center for the Colts or something. You don't see that.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, if they do think they have it and they can do it, it could be fun to do like a World Cup where you take the champions of the teams and play them. I'm not against doing something fun like that. But you need to prove that the game is popular enough to basically, if you can't have like 4 or 5 or 6 teams from all these countries, then the sport's not popular enough in that country.
Yeah,
you know
it'll never be. The thing was like, look at baseball. Baseball's starting to get global. When you got
it started global, I think it's always been a pretty global sport, especially in
but
Latin
now, but
America
it's getting
and
bigger. Latin America, but it's getting big here, like global sporting, like the. There were World Cup version,
baseball, World Baseball Classic.
Right.
Yeah, World Baseball is
huge. Like Puerto Ricans are going crazy for this crap now. When you asked me like 5 years ago, I wouldn't give a crap. Now I got a Puerto Rican team jersey. I don't know who it is, but I got one.
Like Lindor, you have a Lindor jersey.
Yeah, I think it's Diaz. I was like, I didn't even know who he was. Until I realized, he's Puerto Rican. All right, I'm sticking by him, even though he's trashing the Mets right now. I'm sticking with him. But and then you think about it, football is too expensive. Like to get helmets in poor countries, get helmets. All I gotta do is pick up a freaking stick and a ball, and I'm good to go. Or just take a ball and kick it. Yes. I'm golden.
Yeah, no, football does have a big barrier to playing it, which is the pads and the helmets and how dangerous it is. Yeah.
Right. But that's the greediness of the NFL. All right. I'm going to show you a picture really quick. I want Jose to explain this from Zaza Man. Here we go. I have a picture of a forehead.
Oh, Jesus.
Just a forehead. And it says, once I see this, it's just sex. There's no future with you. Jose, what does this mean? Simple as that. The forehead pic.
I take it as just that I'm going to hit it from the back and pull a hair. But, I mean, how do you see it? See it. Look, ghetto is how I would have.
I mean, I don't want to say that. It's just a woman who is black. We don't know where she's from, rich or poor, but I don't know if that makes a difference. But where's the forehead part? Like, if we see a girl's straight forehead, it's you don't want anything
It's
to do
not
with
that.
her.
She looked from the hood.
But the hood part. What? But I'm talking about the forehead.
It's not even just the forehead. If you look at
okay.
those,
Oh, I see what you're saying. I know.
That's like put the picture back up.
Put the picture back up.
Okay, so right here, and just to explain for those listening as well, I have whether it makes a difference or not, we have a picture of a black woman and of a black woman's forehead. That's it.
I mean, there's an interesting design.
That's not a design. That's
What
just hood girls do that. It's like ghetto chicks that has that like that two in the corners of the side of the head. Those parts are like prime. You can tell she's from the hood. Like you can tell she probably ghetto as hell.
Is that what that person is trying? Listen, guys.
Maybe she's a stand-up woman.
Listen,
I want to be on record for that.
Maybe she is, but I'm from the hood. Like I'm from the project. I see that. That's not a girl I'm bringing home to mom. I might get head in the back of the car, but that's as far as it's gonna get.
So I'm now understand. So I listen for anyone who didn't guess. All 300 something episodes. I'm Caucasian, aggressively so, and so I didn't get the tweet. And then we said we were doing the forehead thing. I don't understand why. I don't truly understand it. Still, I think it's making more sense now. You're saying that this is his way of saying this is someone you don't bring home to mom. That's what this tweet's about, and he's basing that on a hairdo. Okay.
This is like basically that hair, that forehead. When you see it like that, you're about to catch a court case. You're going to go to court for domestic abuse. Either you're the one beating her up or she beat you up. One of the two is going to happen.
I will take... I don't want to say I'll take your word for it because that sounds wrong. But I've got no lived experience and I've got no cultural point of reference to have any sort of real opinion on this. So I guess I'm going to defer to you both on that. I just didn't understand it, but you the way you explained it up until just a second ago with the this is that's a hairdo that would indicate.
Think of it like this: if you go Google hood girls that are in prison, 9 out of 10 of them has that forehead.
So you're saying this is a bad girl sort of hairdo.
Yes, like not even bad. She's just a hood rat.
See, that's why we talk about this and be productive on the show.
That was a productive conversation. I think I'm okay. I don't think it'll ever come up, but now I know. Now I know what someone says that. Now I'll know what I'm looking at.
If your wife had one day came home looking like that with that forehead, wouldn't you feel like that's out of place?
Well, I didn't have any context to think that it would end up in a weird, a legal situation. But
I'll tell you this,
I would be shocked insofar as in the 10 years that I've known my wife, her hair has never looked that way. So I'd be like, oh, you did something new with your hair, but I have no you're ascribing like a whole background to that hairdo that I would not have. So I wouldn't, and I still don't have it. I've only heard you mention it. If Zaza hears this, I would love if they could explain it. To see if you're correct. I believe you, but I'm just curious if other people see it that way.
Me and Zaza see that haircut is either one or two things: court case, or she's really freaking in the bed. One of the two. Sure. That's it.
Yes, but to answer your question, Jose, I think I genuinely would just be like, oh, that's an interesting hair choice, because it'd be different than what I've seen the last 10 years. But I wouldn't ascribe any of the other stuff that you're ascribing to it because you're the person who's informed me of that. So there we are.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, am I right?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep you safe, Ryan.
Thank you. I'll find something. I'll find a Leave It to Beaver episode, Jose.
Did you happen to see?
And we'll go through it. I'll tell you what's happening.
Deal.
Did you happen to see? I won't play the clip. I guess it'll be a mini segment, but it's did you see our girl Bobby? She went to Compton, I think, with Megan Thee Stallion.
Jesus!
It'd be kind of like that.
Me and Jose.
You and Jose.
I'm down. Why not? I'll go out to see the sights somewhere.
Jose, where would you specifically take it?
I'll take him to Rona Court. Let's see.
I know where that is.
Keep it in North for our Norwalk people out there.
Take them there and take them and bring
But
them
even I feel
Bronx.
do you wait first before RC? I heard they're about to get gentrified. I saw a big gentrification deal. Like the mayor was about to just knock those apartments down.
They're doing it. They're fixing all the projects up now.
So is Norwalk gonna even be? I mean, this is very local, but well, you think even Norwalk will be as hood as it once was?
No, hell no. It's already changed. If you look at downtown Sono right now, and all them projects are being like you already got what's the name? Like 2 of the projects already rebuilt. Listen, their projects now is those nice ass apartment buildings you see that you think those are like rich people. Nah, those are like the new projects. Nice little like view of the whole city. They got it nice.
See, look how far we've come as a society.
Look at the Colonial Village right. If you go by Colonial Village right now, look at Colonial Village. Look at pictures how it was when I was growing up, and look at it now. They're like little mini houses. Like they look great. I would live in there.
I mean, you know what they say. You could take the hood out of the person. You could take the person out the hood, but not the hood out the person.
Right. Well, they fixed them bad boys up. I'll be real nice now.
I'm so proud. I am so proud of where we have come as a society. All right, one last thing. We are going to do another list. I had a story, but I feel it'd be better if we just had some of our lady co-hosts, so we'll save that for another time. Hold up. Or you want to play it now? We could do our version of just guys.
Again later.
Yeah. You want to do that?
Sure, let's do it now. Why not?
Okay. We will. All right. So everybody, we will be fair, and we've had plenty of ladies come on the show, so we will have a fair debate on this. But this is called "Do You Believe Men and Women Can Just Be Friends?" We will do now the sole guy version of it, and then we will have a couple of either 1, 2, or sorry, we have great women hosts on our team. Sorry, it's past midnight here. We will have girls to debate this with us later. But for now, it's just me, Ryan, and Jose. Look at this clip right here. Do men and women, can they be friends? Or I should first ask Ryan and Jose, can men and women just be friends?
There's so much gray into that. Yes and no, depends.
Okay.
Firm yes.
Ryan, you married your best friend, yes or no?
Yes.
They obviously no men and women cannot be friends.
But I have other friends that I didn't marry.
You need to stop it, Ryan.
I have other friends that I did not marry. So yes, you can. Yes, you can. I'm maintaining my answer. Yes. I've got other friends that I did not marry. So again, perfect example. I married one of them, but not all of them.
You married the hot one?
I married the love of my life. What are you talking about?
She's the cutest one at all.
Yes, obviously I married her.
There you go. Then no, you cannot be. That's it.
Let me clarify though. Hold on, let me clarify. No, I think this is important clarity. So it's not like, oh, I was dating a bunch of women. Now they're all my friends, and I married the one I liked the most. I had all of these friends. They were all platonic, and then one of them became more than platonic.
She just happens to be the cutest one out of all of them.
What does that mean? Obviously, I married her because I was attracted to her, as well as her being a great person who I love to be around. Like, you're basically saying, oh, you find your wife attractive. Gotcha. Yes. Obviously, duh.
No. If she wasn't around, you probably would have went to the next friend, this next closest one.
But I don't believe that.
Come on, Ryan.
We can't prove nothing. We can't prove nothing because it didn't happen that way. It happened the way it happened. Let's hear what these people have to say. But the answer is yes, you can.
Good transition, Ryan. Here we go.
Yeah, of course. Yes, I do.
Yes. I mean, we're all men.
I know.
So, of course, we're going to have those feelings. And we can be content with just friendship, and we can be silent regarding those feelings, but we're gonna have them.
Yes.
No. No.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't believe so. No. I guess what I'm saying is no.
Okay, good. Backpack girl, bacon, and Redick.
Okay, we'll walk with you. Do you believe men and women can be just friends?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay, do you have any
Wait.
guy friends right now who you're just friends with?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All my best friends are guys. Dave.
Trevor.
Taylor Mulford. Bobby.
Yeah.
How long have you known Trevor?
2 years.
Of those guy friends, do you think any of them secretly like you? And be honest.
Probably, yeah.
Do you think that guy is interested in you?
Yes.
Would Dave hook up with you if you gave him the chance?
Well, yeah.
Do you think Trevor liked you?
Yeah.
And-
I know I did. Yes. Yes.
Would he hook up with you if you wanted to hook up?
Yeah.
So he likes you.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is men and women can't be friends.
No, we can be friends.
Do you believe that men and women...
Oh,
This is important.
okay.
This is important.
Oh, no.
This is
Go
important.
ahead.
No, this is important. This video seems kind of old. Am I right or am I wrong?
It's from 2011, but
Okay.
I don't
So
I don't think
whatever,
that makes a
that's fine.
difference.
I think
but
it
it did
does.
go viral this week.
No, I know. I think it does matter how old it is. In terms of the
Oh
response.
my god.
Let me finish.
All right, the floor is yours.
We are assuming the host in this video is assuming that if two people sleep together, they have to like each other. Jose, how many times on this very program have you talked about people whom you do not like, but you would absolutely hook up with? I'll answer for you a ton. So
Yes.
the idea that these guys would then also hook up with their friend does not mean that they can't still be friends before, during, and after the hookup. So I think this just proves it. This just proves that they can be friends because girls are like, yeah, I can be friends with you. And yeah, obviously you'd hook up with me, but I don't care. And that's that.
Ryan.
But it'd be the other
Oh,
side though,
Ryan.
because then
Ryan.
the guy would then the girl
That-
likes the guy and they can't be friends in that sense.
We've talked about guys who hook up with girls that they don't like.
Listen, Ryan. I'm going to tell you this right now. Matt is a close friend, right?
Mhm.
Matt, we're friends, right?
Yes.
We're personal friends.
Yes.
There's not one.
I think you're one of my
effing
very
time-
good friends.
Not one effing time I thought of banging Matt.
But
At
it's
all.
not, he's
Because
not
we're-
in your preference.
Listen, I tell you this right now. If there was a girl that I liked it, and I tell her I want to be friends, it's because I'm hoping down the line I can smash that. All right, I'll
It sounds like
smash my
you
friend.
can't be friends with people.
Listen, you've seen the video. Girls are like that. Girls know that. Yeah, Ryan is my friend, but I also know Ryan would hit it if I let him. Period. They know if they wanted, they could show. That's why they come up and be like, "We can be friends," because they put us in the friend zone.
You've
But
never put a girl in the friend zone?
Do I look like I give away free?
No, I'm
pussy?
asking.
But
You
that
can
also
say no
adds to
if
the
you want.
argument: can guys and girls be friends? No, they can't
Guys,
because
no, can't
it's
be
the
because
other
you
say.
put it.
I've
I
put
don't-
girls in the friend zone.
But you're married.
You're married.
I wasn't
If you
married
were-
when I did it.
But she might have wanted to
Ryan-
fuck
Ryan,
you.
Like,
Ryan.
And that's
that
fine.
or
We would still
Ryan,
be friends.
You wouldn't smash
But
if she was butt naked in your bed right at that time. and you weren't
Did
married.
you hear me? Did you hear me? I
Would you
have
smash?
100% put people I know liked me into the friend zone.
but
Would you?
were they
I'm
truly
telling-
your
No,
friend
if I put them
after?
in the
But
friend
were they
zone-
truly your friend after though?
Yes. Yes.
It lasted for life. Like, are you still friends with them
Yes.
to this day?
Yes,
You
some
could
of
call
I'm still
them.
friends with.
Well, maybe not this hour, but
I'm
well,
not
if they were
calling them
your
at
real
midnight,
friend,
no.
if they were your
Not
real
calling
friend, you
them
could
at
call
midnight.
them. You could say, "Hey,
calling them at
are we
midnight.
friends? This is life or death." Since you're my friend, you wouldn't care about
I'm
this.
not calling them at midnight. But yes,
This
to
is
answer
it.
your question, yes.
One of my best friends.
Yes.
She is one of my best, my
So
closest
they
friends.
could be friends.
Yeah, I smashed.
Okay.
We smashed.
That's okay.
and she's married.
That's fine. That's okay.
I think you talked
Are
about her.
Are you friends with
Yes.
her?
You talked to her
No,
about her. on
I
here.
tell her all the time we're not friends. I can even show you text messages where I state we're not
You
friends.
just called her your friend. The first thing you said
She's
is
my
one of my
best-
friends.
She's my best friend, but I'm never gonna tell her that.
But you just said she's your best friend, so you can be friends.
I'm smashing that as much as I can because
You
I ain't.
just said,
Listen,
my best friend. You
she
used the term friend in the conversation.
She is my friend, but she's a friend not gonna smash. But
you guys have Tinder brain. This is because of Tinder. This is dating apps. You just use the word. No. You just use the word my best friend. Listen, and then the next thing you said is can't be my friend. The first thing you said out your mind. You thought about my best friend.
I'm gonna clear it for you. She's my best friend because we smashed. The minute we stop smashing, we ain't friends no more.
There you go.
Period. We ain't friends. There's nothing for us to talk about. If my cock is not in your mouth, there's nothing to talk about.
But then that means she's not your friend. So why'd you call her your best friend?
Well, he did just say that.
Told you.
He did clarify just now.
Best friend. I have sex. We talk while we sex. We fuck. We call it a day.
So she's not your best friend.
She's my best friend. I tell her everything. When we smash at the end of the night, we talk, we cuddle, we do everything. We go.
You're doing friends wrong.
No,
you're doing friends wrong.
No, I'm doing it correctly.
You're doing
more
ways
than one. I'm doing it right more ways than one.
You're doing friends wrong if your best friend is someone that you would not speak to ever again if they weren't going to live with you. To answer your question, though, Matt, I absolutely have friends. I've had in the past and have current friends who are female. They were single when I met them.
I get that too, and that you might be right, but you'd have to also ask them. Like they could tell you you're friends, and I've been on the record talking about that.
But they're still friends with me, so I know they're friends.
But I know she could tell you that, but she might be lying as well. She could be.
Why would she lie? She's just not having my friend. I don't give a fuck.
Because it'd be so awkward, and then your non-friendship would be highlighted, and then it turns to a mess. It's like people that I was really good friends with in the past. No, I'm explaining. Yeah. But we're not friends anymore. Like we don't talk, we don't stay in touch. We're not friends anymore.
I got that too. Yeah.
But she could tell you we're friends. She could tell you everything you want to hear, but deep down, she's not being a friend. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying, Jose? Like,
yes.
It's like if I got friend zoned. Yeah. You know, I'm telling you, it's like if I got friend zoned.
Sure.
I tell the girl I'm their friend that just friend zoned me. I'm lying. I don't want to be your friend anymore. I am going to lie and not be your friend. You might think I'm your friend, but I'm not your friend because you friend zoned me. So goodbye.
Okay. So
that's what I'm saying.
So all right. So I just don't get that because I have, in addition to me friend zoning, I have also been friend zoned. I did still date. I promise. I wasn't just born married. So I didn't do that. That my mind doesn't work that way. If I was still friendly with you, it's because I was still your friend. If you friend zoned me and I didn't want to be your friend, then we just were no longer friends, and that's fine. You don't have to be friends with someone just because you asked you were interested in them and they weren't interested back. You could just be like, all right, cool. Well, listen, that's all I was looking for was a relationship like that. And so if that's not what we have, then no hard feelings, and you move on. So no. So now if you guys are saying that you can't do it, that's fair enough. And I would be curious to hear what, a group of 3 different guys would say.
What?
Because maybe it is maybe I'm in the minority group here, but what I'm describing is 1,000% me, a guy, and the other people who are women being friends, strictly platonic on both sides of the equation. No one is trying to get with anybody else. Strictly platonic.
Okay, let's be real honest and like pull the blanket off.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand something. If you friend zoned a girl, it's because you are in control of the situation.
Sure.
So you, in your mind, can call it a friend. In her mind, she can be whatever until those feelings are gone, and then that's it. Mm-hmm. It's not a real friend. It now becomes an acquaintance.
No, it's
like you're not gonna call her to hang out. You're not gonna call her, hey,
exactly.
You want to go see a Yankee game?
That's what I'm trying to say.
You think it's the friend because you are in control of the situation. It goes the other way. Real brutally honest. If a girlfriend zoned at me, yeah, I'll be your friend. I'm saying that because I have motives just to smash.
Right,
but eventually, when I get tired of it, I'm not hanging out with her.
So hold on. So Matt knows me from like when I was a kid, right? And Matt knows that one of my best friends when I was growing up was a girl. We're not going to use names, right? I had absolutely no attraction to this girl. This girl had absolutely no attraction to me. That's not a friend? How is that not a friendship? Truthfully, how is that not a friendship? What you're describing is that if a guy is rejected, he cannot be friends with the girl. Now, I personally don't know if I agree with that, but I can see how that might be. How a guy's like, listen, I liked you, and I really liked you, and you just didn't like me the same way, and it's just too weird for me to hang out with you still. And I could see why a girl in the same position would have the same result. But you're making the assumption in all of this that you're both making is that there's no way for a guy to even get to that point with a girl. That the only reason a guy and a girl would be together at all is because one of them is interested physically in the other. And I don't believe that that's true.
I'll break it down. I'll break it even further down for you. Let's get two things right. If my first interest in a girl was I was trying to get with that girl.
Right.
And let's say we play that card and we became friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the back of my mind,
sure,
I'm always going to think of myself first.
Right. So every single girl that you talk to is someone that you have or have wanted to sleep with.
I don't need a girl that I don't feel attracted to in any way.
So the answer is yes. So the answer is yes. If you have a girl in your if you have a girl in your circle, it's because you are or would like to hit.
Yeah.
Matt, are you saying the same thing?
One more time, am I saying that
if you have a girl within your circle of friends, it's because you have or would like to hit that?
Like right now?
Generally speaking, you can look at the course of all time if you want to. I don't really care the time frame you use.
No, by the way, let's clarify something. No personal gain. So it's like, what's your name on the podcast? Or
no.
Just straight friends.
Straight, like, you don't want something from this person. Yes, that's fine. You don't want something from this person apart from friendship.
So I know how to answer this question.
No, how to answer it is truthfully.
Well, yeah. I plead the fifth. I'm gonna do a plead the fifth.
So I'm telling you all
because there are examples in my friendship now, of friends, and I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth. That's fine. So we know what that means. So I'll say I won't plead the fifth, and I will say firmly and strongly that I've absolutely become friends with women having no attraction to them whatsoever, and they have no attraction to me whatsoever. Many of them, not all, many of them, we are still friends. So So I think it's possible. Now, obviously, I'm the only one on this podcast who thinks it's possible. So apparently, we not only have to do this with, with like the ladies when they come on next. Every time we have a new person, we should ask them this question. I want to know now. I want to ask all of the guys in the Productive Nation. If this is just me, am I the only guy in the entire planet who thinks this way? I might be.
I do think you are very small.
No, he's not. Listen, the disconnect. Here's the problem with the disconnect. Me and Matt are single guys.
I don't.
Me. Hold on.
I promise I was single at some point, guys.
No, hear me out. Hear me out. Me and Matt at this very moment are thinking right now in this very moment. If we became friends with a girl, and we were attracted, there's only one reason why we would have friends. If there's no other, I'm not going to call her to hang out just to go be friends when I have my own people. Right. I'm not going to go let's go drive around and waste my gas. There's got to be a reason for her to be in my life because if I have other friends.
Right. So for me, that's not the case. And it's never been the case.
Ryan, have you...
But here, let me finish.
That's never been the case.
You, Ryan, are in a different boat than me and Matt. You are a married person right now.
But I wasn't. Okay, sorry.
You at this very moment, you are.
Sure.
I'm talking about now. So in your mindset, you are in control of the situation where you can be like, hey, this is what I can offer you, and that's it.
Sure.
Take it or leave it. And you will always have that standpoint because you have someone in the background.
Well, not in the background, but yeah.
Well, you
yes,
always have
yes.
someone
I
that
have a
got your
partner.
back.
Yes, I have
Right.
a partner. Yes.
If that partner was not in the picture, and this girl that's just a friend came up to you and offered you more than that, and you were single, you're telling me right now you wouldn't be tempted in the idea.
I mean, it depends on who the girl is.
There you go.
Your best friend, whatever the girl was, you were tempted.
The
That's
one
the
that the person that I was thinking about, the person that Matt knows, no. The answer is no.
I don't
If that person had come
I
up,
don't know who you're talking about.
I mean, we went to school with them, so I'm not giving any more than that because it's
okay. It doesn't matter. But the point is,
yeah,
it might be that one girl, but vastly one. She's one out of 100 that another girl would have came by, and you were single, you would be tempted.
A stranger, sure.
There's no point in being friends with. Well, that's how you make friends with them.
But
you
I
guys
have
stranger
friends.
first.
No, you're just wrong. I've had plenty of friends while I was single who were women. You're just not correct.
God, Ryan, you're like the.
You're just not correct.
Jesus.
and again, only two things. Then we gotta go. One, I agree with the Pope thing, and then two, you just don't know her other feelings as well.
I swear to God, every time I talk to you on this, I feel like.
I mean, you think you could do, but at the end of the day,
yeah,
I was single. I was single. They were single. They didn't go for it, so they must have, like,
because maybe they were too scared.
Okay,
they didn't have the Jose confidence.
Maybe that's what it is. But I'm just saying, they didn't go for it. I didn't go for it. It feels a lot like neither of us wanted to go for it.
That's just
my opinion, but
I think you are in the minority on this. But
it sounds like
we will try to explore. We could try to explore this again very soon. And if anyone's seen Harry Met Sally, they're trying to figure this out. She literally, Billy Crystal said what we said: men and women can't be friends because sex gets in the way. Meg Ryan disagreed.
I also don't think that has to get in the way, but we'll talk about that when the girls are on, I think.
And then Meg Ryan disagreed in saying that she has many male friends without sex involvement, and they wound up falling in love and fucking anyway. So
there you go. That's the dream, isn't it?
We shall see.
Multiple girls, but yes.
Ryan and Jose did a great job. Thank you so much for an amazing, productive conversation. And all three of us will be back in 2 weeks' time. So most of us will be off for the July 4th, and we'll be back July 9th. Yeah, July 9th.
Something like that.
July 10th. Happy birthday, Jose, before. We'll wish you happy birthday. We'll wish you happy birthday when we come back. And
thank you.
What a month of June, right? June 2024. Put it in the books.